People. Say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. This part of the video is called Story Come to Bump. I am going to give you some information, factual, as to what is going on with these latest buzzing topics in Jamaica, meaning the failure, the scamming of these financial institutions, meaning the banks, specifically NCB, and also these investment companies, SSL, to be specific, wherein legendary sprinter Usain Bolt was swindled of $10 million or so. That is the equivalent of 1.5 billion Jamaican dollars. Now, most of the time we speak about these incidents, we realize that the regular thing is that them rob these people and them draw for some sorts of top lawyer. So a lot of persons have been saying that it seems as if these lawyers are the beneficiaries of these proceeds of financial crimes. And people, it is true once again. We see that lady at NCB in Ocherius, Wealth Advisor is her title, Kadeen Thomas. She has drawn for the services or retained Bert Samuels. I am going to let you take a look to what Mr. Samuels has to say, and then I'll give my piece.
So the police have done an interview in the presence of her lawyer. The lawyer conducting it was Ms. Journal Smalling, and they have charged her for $143,000, and their charges are forgery, uttering forged documents, simple larceny, breaches of the Cybercrime and Proceeds of Crime Act. She maintains her innocence. We're in court on Friday of this week, which will be applying for bail for Ms. Thomas, and we will see what happens thereafter when we get discovery, that is, what is the evidence against her. We'll certainly have more to say, but for the time being, her plea is that of not guilty.
Now, people, this is my disclaimer. Once you're charged for something, if you cannot afford a lawyer will be given to you by the state at the expense of the states. Not a problem. Lawyer is doing his job. The lawyer is doing everything within his rights to represent his client. Once that retainer reaches him, he has the rights to represent her. However, what persons have a problem with is that, are these criminals, these crooks, using the money that they have stolen to pay these lawyers? In the United States and most first world country, whenever you are charged for certain things, as in DRUGS, Ponzi scheme, scamming, you will have to prove where you get that money from to pay your lawyer. So therefore, it is only common sense that the legislation in Jamaica changes that. However, why that is not going to change is because most of these people with power, whenever them get catch, they want to make sure that they safeguard, make sure that they have the opportunity to get a lawyer without being questioned as to where that fraudulent money, corrupted money is coming from. So that is the logics behind this. This lady, at first they said that it was 30,000, then it was 100,000. Now they are saying in excess of $143,000. People, the truth is that most of these banks, financial institutions, they downplay everything. That is a smaller little case. Let's talk about Usain Bolt and his loss. Money that he lost through these Ponzi scheme, fraudulent investment companies, SSL to be specific. $10 million. We see that there is an outcry. We see that everybody is saying, how is it that a legendary sprinter such as Usain Bolt, this can happen to him and there's nobody, none of the relevant authority, none of our security minister, JCF, the government, Andrew HOLNESS to be specific, is saying none at all. However, one specific individual is speaking up for Usain Bolt and echoes the sentiment of most Jamaican. How is it that Andrew HOLNESS is not saying anything? How is it that the relevant authority has become mute? None at all. Take a listen, take a look to an edited version of what he has to say. And then I'll give my piece.
Jamaica, what going? What really are going? Or someone like Usain Bolt that has given the country so much, you know what I mean? And has done so much for the country, tourism and a whole, just giving so much joy to the people. How them can fraud this money of him retirement money? And I don't hear the Minister of Finance speaking out. I don't hear the Prime Minister speaking out. I don't hear the people who we put in this power to oversee and make sure them protect Jamaicans. What are they trying to say that? We Jamaicans should not invest in our own country? You don't look good. Not looking good at all. You know what I mean? We need to step up. We need to speak up. We need to hear from the Prime Minister. We need to hear from the Minister of Finance. We need to hear from these people what they're going to do to make sure that Usain Bolt can smile. You know what I mean? He deserves that. He has given all of us so much joy. You know what I mean? And done so much for the country. This is Jamaica. Do better.
Now, people, you hear what Sham had to say. Makes sense. A lot of people want to say the same thing. Sham has a platform. What he is speaking is logics. Usain Bolt has done more for Jamaica. Usain Bolt has done more than all politicians in the last 5 decades have done for Jamaica. All political parties, everything, he has done more for them. He will continue to do more for them. There is not even a possibility that they will ever have the power and the clout, the talent, God-given ability to help Jamaica, in which Usain Bolt has. So all of them come together, will never and can never do what Usain Bolt has done so far. So therefore, Usain Bolt has the right to get proper representation, has the right to be defended by its government, by whomever. Any of the relevant authorities that are supposed to get some sorts of backbone, some sorts of spine, some sorts of BALLS. However, people, I am going to explain to you why that is, that this is the response that we are getting from this government. So like I said, 2 incidents back to back. Kadeen Thomas, NCB. She could be a lone wolf based on the amount of money that was stolen by SSL. Usain Bolt being one of 30 or 40 victims. That is monkey money. Only $143,000. People can actually recover from that. In the case of Usain Bolt by himself, it is $10 million. $1.5 billion Jamaican, thereabouts. Not to mention, when you talk about interest, it could be almost $20 million if you look over an 11-year span. Now, the information that I am going to give you, it is based on some research that I've done. It is based on some conversations that I've done with some big people in a law enforcement overseas, more specifically United States. Jamaica is under a watch right now. The government of Jamaica, the system of Jamaica, all because of Usain Bolt. Well, not just because of Usain Bolt. However, he is the straw that broke the camel's back. To make them say, no sir, this place is getting out of hand. The information that I am going to give you is also based on a video that I watched from a channel on YouTube. It is called Reggae Dub Scene. Wayne Lonesome is that person that monitors that channel. Very informative. Now this is some of the information that I got. It is said that the person, one of the head, the leader of SSL, Stocks and Security Limited, he was a part of a failed financial investment institution called the Eagle Group. The Eagle Group was in some sorts of mix-up as it pertains to FinSoc. As a matter of fact, the man that is a part, co-owner, partnership of SSL was also part ownership of the Eagle Group. Mix up in all sorts of things as it pertains to FinSoc, all sorts of controversy and drama. As a matter of fact, there was some controversy about Andrew Holness building that house, that mansion that he has in Beverly Hills. Remember, Andrew Holness claimed that it is from some sorts of investment that he had overseas. His little son that were younger than teenagers at the time, think about 2011 or so, they were a part of the board management of the company along with Andrew Holness. The most damning part, when he was asked, when he was grilled, when he was drilled, and where he got that money from, some of the money to buy that property based on his salary, documented, it came from SSL. It is said that the owner of SSL, the management, top management of SSL, is good friend with Andrew Holness. It is said that one of the managers of SSL calls Andrew Holness Prince Andrew. It is said when that manager of that company got into some sorts of trouble as it pertains to the Eagle Group, back then, him say, him not give back no sort of money, none at all. Him prefer to go to prison. People, that was swept under the rug because of his political affiliation, his political links. People, when you hear me, I'm telling you, all of this that I am saying, you can Google it, you can investigate it. It is not stories that I am making up. When the investigators that are on this case was asked, is this lady, Mrs. Panton, working alone? The investigators, based on conversations that I've had directly and indirectly, said that it is obvious that this is widespread, meaning that people in upper management that control this company had to have known that something was going on. There would have been, should have been, has been all sorts of red flags that were raised once this amount of money was being transferred from these people, more specifically Usain Bolt's accounts. What is even more damning, based on investigations being audited from the auditors now on the case, This company was in a financial bind. So people, do the maths with me. You are investing your money in a company that is going to take your money and invest it and make money for you when they themselves are a failure. They themselves were losing money. Now people, I am no sort of financial genius. Sometimes them invest, sometimes they are strapped for cash. However, based on the information, I would not be confident in investing my money with somebody that is investing their own money and losing. That means that this has been, whether just where they are before, has become a Ponzi scheme. If a company is investing and is some sort of financial wizard, you cannot prove to me that you are a wizard in finance when you yourself, as an entire company, are lose. You are in the RED. People, it makes absolutely no sort of sense. Now people, I am no sort of financial wizard. However, when you are looking to invest, you are looking to invest in a place that is stable, have stability. Jamaica is not that place. Jamaica is what we call a failed state. Financial experts said that Jamaica is a failed state back maybe a decade or so, when Jamaica was not failing like it is right now. So therefore, if then 10 years ago, when the climate was much better, what do you think these experts are going to say? What is a failed state? When you have problem in the health sector, when you have problem in the security sector, and when you see that your borders is being bombarded with all sorts of tons and billions and millions of US dollars worth of cocoa on a monthly basis. When you see that your country is a soft target. When you see that so many tons of cocoa coming into Jamaica, however, we are not getting any sorts of arrest. Container is at the wharf. That container must have been here, registered to somebody, headed to somebody. So how is it that no sorts of name, no sorts of arrest? People, you know, see where I'm going. How is it that they don't set up any sorts of sting and hold on to these people? Some sort of fumbling of the ball went down. However, nobody's name is being called. People just hold on to it. So therefore, for the POPO, for the narcotics division, it is good, because we are not hearing about any of these DRUGS being burned up. We just hear say it gets seized, and then we not hear nothing else after that. As it pertains to SSL, Mr. Sham, Usain Bolt, the people of Jamaica, this is why the government, this is why the Minister of Finance is not saying anything, because they are all friends. They are all in the same clique, all the same peas in a pod. So therefore, them not going to call out them friend. They are not going to expose their friend, because when you do the maths and do the investigation, the friend should not have been given any sort of access for open a next financial institution, SSL, when he was a part of a big, failed, controversial institution before. However, political link, political STINK. So that is why you're not hearing anything. So like me say, Usain Bolt, you have done more for Jamaica than all of these political parties. All politicians put together. So therefore, if anybody have the right to speak out, if anybody has the right to get justice, it is you. So what you need to do, you need to get an external lawyer, because all of these top lawyers that you see in Jamaica, more than likely they are compromised. More than likely they will sell you out because of their system friends, the Body Club. So therefore, contact the CNN, Fox and all other news media outside of Jamaica, because more than likely these medias in Jamaica, they are also politically affiliated, and the ones that are not, they are going to be afraid, because don't think that your government, not meaning Andrew Holness specifically, the system won't get rid of you for exposing them, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. I understand that this might be your grandma's favorite channel. However, this is not the run-of-the-mill Mama and Papa channel. This is news with a buzz. If you appreciate views like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Point blank and period.